Well then, that is it. The season is over. And if you had told me at the start of the year, at the start of the season, that we would be second place, I would have laughed. I would have genuinely said, what have you been smoking? There's no chance. But no, we're here. We're second place. And it could have been so different. In the end, as you can see in the bottom right corner here, it was just 5 points, although City knew they'd won it already. They didn't have to really go for it. They might have, they would have won their games. I mean, they just lost today to Brentford. That wouldn't have happened. You know, once they knew they'd won and it was done, they don't have to worry so much. But honestly, this season has had a lot of ups. A lot of ups. More ups than I can remember in any other season for so long. And it's just such a shame that it didn't end how we all dreamed. And when I say we all dreamed, how Arsenal fans dreamed, and I think quite a lot of opposition fans kind of hoped that Arsenal would do it just to break up the monotony of Man City winning every year. I don't know. I feel like Arsenal are quite a popular second, third, fourth team, you know? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but 5-0 to finish the season, it's like an angry result. I feel like it's exactly what happened last year when we missed out on Champions League football. We lost out to Tottenham, and we had our last home game of the season. I think it was Everton at the Emirates, so we put 5 past them as well. And you could tell it was just like a, I'm gonna win today by a lot. The same happened today. It felt like a lot of players just wanted to, I guess, get their frustrations out. And you've got to remember, a lot of players are playing for contracts and making sure that they're staying at the club that they love or want to stay at. And you know, some players were saying goodbye, and one of them, of course, Granit Xhaka, it's not confirmed, but maybe it is by now. Maybe they've put an announcement out after the game, but as of half an hour since full time, it's still just rumours that Granit Xhaka is leaving, but it seems like he's going. You saw the way the team celebrated around him when he scored in the 11th and the 14th minute. What a way to go out. Granit Xhaka scoring a double. What a farewell. And, you know, I won't talk about it too much because I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to miss the guy as a leader. And his story at this club, I think it will go down in history. A player that joined and was really liked, and people were hopeful that we had signed a general, a boss in midfield, which we had. And then his reputation flew down, and he must have been, and I know it was so close to him leaving. He was hated, you know, what happened at Crystal Palace or against Crystal Palace. And now he's, again, this season, he's turned into a bit of a hero, and he's been a big reason why we've been able to do so well. So he will be missed. And actually, it seems he got man of the match. How about that then? Well, on here at least. I don't know who got man of the match in real life. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was watching the Arsenal game, a totally legal stream, but I wasn't focused on it. You know, once we went 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 up, it was done, wasn't it? I was very much focused on Leicester, Everton, Leeds, and watching what happened there. We'll talk about that. But a 5-0 win, I mean, it's still a great result. And Wolves just at the back, that was embarrassing at times. I'm sure Wolves will be fine again next year, but I don't see how they push on and get into that kind of top 8 with performances like that. But they'll reinforce. I'm sure they'll sign some more Portuguese stars in the summer. In terms of Arsenal's summer, where do we go from here? If Granit Xhaka's going, I think we all know who is potentially on his way in that very position. I think we're going to get ourselves a Declan Rice there, which would be incredible. In terms of the front three, you know, if you put Martinelli in there when he's fit, I think Jorginho's going to get another year. Ødegaard's going nowhere. And by the way, I did talk about this in the last game. It's a weird system having 4 central-minded players, but what I noticed very quickly in this game, it felt very different, and that's Partey was doing what Zinchenko does, and all we had done is just mirrored that. So normally we play with Ben White, Saliba and Gabriel as a back 3 with Zinchenko a left back, but mainly drifting into midfield. Instead now it was Kivior, Gabriel, Ben White as those 3, and then Partey was drifting in. And actually, it made more sense. It just didn't feel like that's what was happening in our last few games. And Partey was actually a little bit stuck in that right-back role. But today, he basically played here, exactly where Zinchenko would have done, just on the other side. So That worked. That worked for me. Wouldn't be a problem. But I'm hoping next season we are going to bring in potentially another right back, potentially another centre back. But of course, the main focus will have to be in the midfield position. I feel like going forward, we're okay. I think Jesus and Ketia are going to be our main two strikers again. I don't know how to feel about that, if I'm honest. I think Jesus has had a good season, but not what I expected. The hype around him and the start he made, I really thought we had signed a 20, 25 goal striker, but it just hasn't worked out with his injury. Blah, 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 blah. Substitutions, blah, blah, blah. Stats. We got the win, okay? Let's have a look at the table. So we've already discussed City winning it by 5 points. Close, but not close enough. Yes, we got unlucky with the Brentford result, not having the lines drawn. Travesty. I'm so grateful that we haven't lost the league by a point or 2 points. Can you imagine that? That would have been absolutely mind-blowing. But now we 100% know that that didn't really have any effect on our results this season. Maybe mentally it did, but we lost it when we lost Saliba, some other injuries, but the Liverpool game, the West Ham game, the Southampton game, and that is it. We can all, I don't want to say move on and rest easy knowing that that's what it was, but we absolutely 100% know where we lost this season, where we lost that first position, and we were beaten twice by Man City in those games we had. We were beaten well. It doesn't matter if you play well for 60 minutes against Man City, you have to beat them. And we deserve to be second place, and I'm okay with it. I actually am. Fair play to Manchester United for getting third this season with a brand new manager, and they are, I think, going to be back and stronger next season. I think Eric Ten Hag has done a great job. And also Newcastle. I mean, you cannot help but admire what they've done. I mean, just 18 months ago, bottom of the table to fourth. Mostly third this season. They've had a little bit of a wobble recently, haven't they, with a couple of draws and a loss. But Liverpool have done so well to get where they are, considering they were where kind of Chelsea are at the moment, you know, mid-table, below mid-table. And I think they've done very well to get fifth, honestly. Brighton, for me, one of the surprises of the season. For me, Brighton and Arsenal played the best football in the league. So if you're looking for a good match, watch one of those. And I'm so happy they've got European football. And I'm glad it's not Conference League. I don't think anyone really wants Conference League. I think a team like Aston Villa would take it, and Brighton, they would take it. But I'm going to be honest, I think if Arsenal were where Tottenham were today, I wouldn't have wanted to get 7th place because I don't want Conference League. No. It's almost embarrassing, I think, having a top level club in the Conference League. So it's great for Villa. I'm not saying they're not a top team, but they'll take that. It's European football for the first time in how long? I think Tottenham are actually secretly going to be quite happy that they didn't get it. Maybe that's just me. Brentford, incredible. Again, this season they've done so well. Fulham, surprise package up till February, March, when they were kind of in this area of the table. Palace did well to survive. Great appointment with Roy Hodgson. And he truly did save their season. But I think realistically, they just started scoring more goals. That was so important. Chelsea down in 12th. I think that goes down as one of the most surprising and one of the worst performances we've seen from a top team. And it's not just because they're Chelsea. It's the statistics behind it. It's the lack of goals. 38 goals scored. Palace scored more than Chelsea. What? -9 goal difference. And it's the fact that they've spent over 600 million euros. It is unbelievable. So, yeah, I feel for Chelsea fans in a very small way. Wolves weren't very good today. Didn't have a particularly good season, but they saved their season. Let's be honest, at one point we were all thinking they were going to go down. Similar story of West Ham. Bournemouth, unbelievable job. Unbelievable job. O'Neill, is it O'Neill? He has absolutely transformed Bournemouth. From that 9-0 loss at the start of the season to, yes, okay, they've gone on a really horrible run, but I think they knew they were mentally safe, or statistically safe, and mentally they knew that they could kind of relax a little bit. Just a fantastic job there. Nottingham Forest as well. I think, you know, they were probably favourites to go down alongside Bournemouth. Everton just surviving. All it took, or all it would have taken, was a Bournemouth goal and they would have gone down. Pickford making saves and oh my God. Talking of Chelsea being the surprise, that I've got to say, Leicester being 18th is wow. It's unbelievable. I would have never in a million years predicted they would go down just winning the title 7 years ago. Leeds deserve to go down 100%. They're not a very good football team at times. Simple as that. And of course, Southampton, like again, they were winning against Liverpool today and they still couldn't get the result. And of course, they were already down for a few weeks. So I think that kind of sums up the table for me. And here are today's results. And, I just wanted to briefly talk about the relegation battle because I'm going to be honest, I wanted Leicester to stay up. The thought of Everton going down didn't shock me as much as Leicester going down, just because what Leicester have achieved over the last decade. But Everton, I don't know, they're such a huge club, and they did it last year. They've done it again this year. And I do wonder, is this going to be a trend for Everton? Are they going to become like a relegation favourite every year? I don't think so. Surely they're going to get it right this summer. They have to. They can't keep doing this. But Leicester going down, unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. I thought I'd do a quick little kind of Arsenal awards thing. I might do a full-on video on this. I don't know. But I would say our manager of the season has been Arteta. I think our best keeper has been Ramsdale, of course. In terms of picking out my favourite defender this season, notice that word, favourite. I have to go with Saliba just because of the impact he's made. But I think if we're actually going off stats and who's been our best defender, I think it's probably Gabriel. He's such a consistent performer for us. He makes the odd mistake, but who doesn't? Him and Saliba next season, they're going to be very important for us. Moving on into midfield, I'm so sad that Granit Xhaka's going. I think it's very clear that we have one winner here, and that is, of course, Ødegaard. But I do want to give a special shout out to Jorginho, who's come in the winter, and he looks like he's fit in he's fit like a glove. Honestly, I'm so happy with that signing. Who knows what's going to happen in the future with Jorginho? I feel like the football brain that he's got keeps him going at this high level, even if his body can't necessarily keep up physically. Really sad what's happened to Smith Rowe this season. I've got a feeling he might be leaving, we'll see. I don't quite understand why he hasn't been getting minutes. Partey was, I think, for 80% of the season, one of the best defensive midfielders. He had a really tough end to the season, and I think that's also part of the reason why we weren't able to go on and win it. I think we needed players like him to really step it up. And Vieira needs to improve. He does. And then going into the forwards, Trossard, you could argue, was signing of the window in the winter. I would argue that Martinelli and Saka are two of the best wingers in the league this season. But Saka, I think, him and Ødegaard go for the best player for our season. I've got a couple of tweets to go through as well. I asked for your thoughts on the season. Overall, it has been a very good season, says Ellis. We overachieved. True. Okay, we'll come back to that. So we should take second place with wide arms because we are a year ahead of schedule. I agree with that. We weren't meant to be here just yet, so I guess you could argue we've overachieved. Back in the Champions League, so we can't be upset. Have we overachieved? I think based off predictions, yes. No one predicted Arsenal to be title challengers, and we were the only ones. Okay, it was just Arsenal pushing City. It was City pushing Arsenal as well, of course. Yeah, I guess you could say we overachieved. And then AFC reliable, I like that. Despite how it ended, I'm so proud of the lads. They got us fighting with City. They got us believing. We now focus on the summer and get the right players in, and we go again. Hashtag Operation Arsenal. And then Lucas says, proud. I've watched every game this season living in Australia. That is dedication, by the way. Those early kickoffs would have been hell for this guy. But there's no better team to watch. I mentioned that with Brighton. I agree. I think Arsenal, Brighton, is that it? Are those the two teams that I enjoy watching the most? I think obviously City are right up there as well, but they can really put you to sleep with just the passing, just the nonsensical passing, possession. At least Arsenal concede goals and make stupid mistakes. I think United have played some good football this season, and Newcastle, especially the game against Tottenham. They can really put on a show. But I think if you're looking for top quality, entertaining football, I can't help but just say Arsenal and Brighton lead the way. And it's only a little bit ahead of City, United, Newcastle, I would say. Of course, Liverpool can play good football, and I think Tottenham can as well with their counter-attacking, but in general, I think Tottenham are quite boring to watch unless they're counter-attacking. But guys, that is it. That is the season done. I can't believe it. We have actually finished the season. How is it almost June? I don't know. It's been a wild one. Obviously, I've been doing this Operation Arsenal for so long now. I haven't missed a game, which blows my mind. And that includes the games that I've actually gone to, like the Liverpool one. If you go back to the Liverpool win 3-2, obviously I've got some clips from that. I would like to go to more games next season. The problem is I've found this season it's very, very difficult to get tickets. You can't get a season ticket at the moment. There's a waiting list, and it's so expensive as well. I'm not a millionaire. Yeah, I kind of want to take this series to a higher level next year, and I've already mentioned I kind of see myself evolving into more of a football FIFA YouTuber, not a FIFA football YouTuber. So we'll see. In terms of career mode content, I'm hoping to get that back up in the next few days. Being upfront with you guys, I mentioned my mental health recently. I really haven't been in a good spot. It's been a really tough few weeks, and I'm not going to go into it. And it's not over yet. I'm still really struggling. So I'm probably going to be doing some other videos as well, transfer videos and challenge videos and stuff like that, just to break up that career mode. But in terms of football content for Arsenal, I guess that's it until pre-season, until we make some signings. Thank you so much for following Operation Arsenal. Again, another season done, and I'm hoping next season it will be one better. We're going for that first spot, right? I just don't know. We'll see.